Are there any roadblocks or anything like that? Are they stopping people going into areas?
Right now, no, Maharaj. They are screening at the airports.
The what?
Airports, they are screening.
Screening the airport?
Yeah. And anyone who is coming from West Bengal, they are screening across the world.
What?
Anyone who is coming from West Bengal, they are screening across the world.
Oh, really?
That's what.
And the screening, what do you mean screening?
They have their own equipment to screen people. If they see any trace of the virus.
Any fever or something?
Yeah. This looks dangerous for me. Looks dangerous.
Very dangerous. Life and death.
Yeah, results. They cause serious neurological disorders even if treated. Even if you survive, Maharaj, it will cause neurological disorders.
They have no medicine.
No medicine.
Yeah. From this disease, from virus.
Yeah.
Against this.
But it came from the bats, doesn't it?
Yes, bats.
Are they going to exterminate the bats? Bhakti Thakur's birthplace is on that area. What's it called? We have a temple there as well. They purchased land there last year.
That's Indonesia. Bhakti-Nata. तो नाम क्या है वो? Bhakti-Nata का birthplace. अच्छा. Birnagar.
Birnagar.
I've been there. Birthplace.
In Katwa, they say also. This virus is in Katwa. You remember Katwa, where Lord Chaitanya took sannyas?
Virus is in Katwa?
Yeah, in Katwa, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They recommended not to visit Katwa.
Really?
Yeah. I read.
Katwa isn't it very near to Sri Khanda?
Yeah.
Katwa. Well, Katwa's away up, like north of Mayapur. I don't know how the virus got up there.
Maharaj, they are stating that surveillance has been intensified across North 24 Parganas, Purba, Bardhaman and Nadia districts.
Nadia district?
Nadia district.
Well, that's here.
Yeah.
They are doing surveillance, intense surveillance here.
Huh?
They are doing surveillance, Maharaj.
Surveillance.
Surveillance, like if there's someone with the virus contact with someone, they are just going to that person.
So it's Bhagavan and Nadia.
Burdwan.
Yeah. Barasa.
Yes, sir. Barasa is a bit far from here.
Barasa, they are now taking treatment. There are some patients.
Huh?
In Barasat area, they're taking treated Maharaj. 2 live cases are there in Barasat.
Where?
Barasat, it is 100 kilometers from there.
100.
Close to airport.
Close to airport. Maharaj.
Yeah. Airport, like 5 kilometers from the airport.
So then, Panihati.
It's not bad.
Huh?
But it's good far.
Palliat is far.
Good far.
Panihati is near the airport.
Not that much. A bit long. Not exactly. Barasat is quite close. Barasat is close Barasat airport.
Oh.
Yeah. Barasat is bit this airport Ganga. In airport Ganga. Bit long distance.
But they didn't close the temples or anything, huh?
So far, no.
Обсуждаем новые
It's a big time. Because all the issues coming. So, revision. It could last
I guess with time they're going to start.
Huh?
With time they're going to start. Because fatality rate is very high. They might do something.
They have to.
No cure. Even if you survive, it's very dangerous.
I know. It's COVID that
How many cases are there so far?
So far, they're saying only 2 cases. They said 2 cases in West Bengal.
Where?
2 cases in West Bengal.
In West Bengal.
2 cases. There are cases in Kerala also, they are saying.
In Kerala?
Kerala also.
What?
Oh, it's spread all over India.
West Bengal.
They said in Kerala also there
It's
are cases.
reported.
Oh my God. It's all over. So is it just
So, right now, West Bengal and Kerala.
West Bengal and Kerala? Oh. And where did it come from? Any other countries have it?
No, it originated from West Bengal.
Where's Vaibhava?
best state in India. The best state.
Best state is West Bengal? This side? In
Best state.
a third way. You believe? In a third way.
Actually, no. Beginning.
Потому что
In
карантин.
a third way.
50% of the GDP is for the rest of the world.
Очень хорошо.
That's now.
Замечательно. Будете тут в Майпуре сидеть.
I mean, but if it was my door, I would never.
Okay, let's look at these questions here. Let's get these questions all done. Number 5. What was the purpose in text 18 and 19 to explain about Shirodakshaya Vishnu? What does the purport to text 18 and 19 explain about Shirodakshaya Vishnu?
Is situated in every universe in a special planet called Sukadeva.
Huh?
Yeah, Shirodakshaya Vishnu is situated in every universe in a special planet called Shwetadeepa.
Okay. Is that all we know? Is that
Yes.
all? That's all it says here, huh?
Within this universe, the planet Shwetadeepa, where Shirodakshaya Vishnu is situated, from him comes all the incarnation within this universe.
From him come all the incarnations, yeah. That should be mentioned.
That's all.
So he's situated on a special planet called Svetadweep.
December 1890.
And from him all the incarnations within this universe come. Okay. And then explain the relationship between Vairagya and Bhakti. What is the relationship between Vairagya and Bhakti?
26.
Both are parallel lines, parallel.
Parallel.
Like one is essential for the other understanding. So one is both are essential for the other understanding.
One is what?
Both are essential for other understanding.
Both are essential for
Others
others' understanding.
For understanding.
So what is the person?
Understanding what?
Others. So like each one is a perfect understanding. It was both.
Vairagya and Bhakti both are necessary to understand. To understand Vairagya, we need Bhakti.
Bhakti.
To understand Bhakti, we need Vairagya. Both are essential to understand each other.
They're interdependent.
Yes. Right.
Bhakti pares anubhavo bhakti
Yeah.
and yatra esha ekakala. Right, that one. So, yeah. So they're interdependent. And then what intermediate benefit did Chitraketu Maharaj receive?
But we did
What?
not read up to it yet.
Huh?
We did not read up to it.
No, we're not up to that yet, but I want to know.
Yeah. She said here that only after one only after 1 week of repeatedly practicing mantra, he achieved the rule of the planet of the Vidyadharas as an intermediate product.
Yeah, he got some promotion, right? He got promoted to the planet of the Vidyadharas.
1 week only.
So, Prabhupada says like that, your life can improve, you become a devotee, you get a better life, We come to the Krishna consciousness movement, our life generally will be better. You get better situation. Some people become very rich, and they become devotee. I don't know how they do it, but
I heard that when one does bhakti with how do you say, when one chants with offenses and desires, like offensive chanting leads to getting opulence and followers. Like when you have other desires and you're doing offensive bhakti.
well, people should be getting a lot of desires then, huh? A lot of people.
But then that is very, how do you say, entangling.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, Chitraketu Maharaj got sent to the planet of Vidyadharas to become king also, right? Became the leader of the Vidyadharas. Isn't it? And then the purport to text 33, what is Prabhupada's instruction about prayers and songs?
One cannot offer prayers to the Lord with mundane words. One must become spiritually advanced by controlling the mind and senses. Then you can find some suitable words to offer the prayers to the Lord.
Yeah, the prayers and songs have to be, they should be come from the acharyas, from the pure devotees.
Yes.
Shouldn't be mundane, it shouldn't be materialistic. Why does the Lord deserve the credit for man's mechanical achievements?
Yes.
Because
Three things: intelligence, temptation, and ingredients are given by the Lord.
intelligence,
Intelligence, ingredients, and dictation. These three: dictation,
discretion,
dictation, D-I-C-T-A-T-I-O-N, dictation.
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 The Lord dictates.
Yeah, these three things come from the Lord. So he takes credit, not the other scientists of the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then define Arya.
the members of human society who strictly follow the principles of Bhagavad Dharma and live according to the instructions of the Supreme Lord are called Aryas.
Okay, we'll come to it. Huh?
Yeah. So last one.
Alright, so we were going through the prayers and we were hearing now.
Verse number 20. Yeah, we finished 80 to 90.
Okay, we're up to text number 20. The difference between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. Right, what are some differences between the Lord and the living entity? The Lord is very great and we are very
Small.
We're very small.
The
By
Lord
mystic power we can expand how many times?
9.
8.
8. Okay.
When the Lord can expand unlimited.
Lord is a controller and Jiva is controlled.
Yes. And the Lord has no beginning and no end. And the living entities have a beginning and an end. The Lord is transcendental and the living entity is conditioned. Right? There's many different differences between the Lord and the living entity. We'll go ahead. The words and mind of the conditioned soul cannot approach the Lord. About the Lord's material names, He has no material name. It's entirely spiritual. Impersonal Brahman is another of His forms. And then they give the example about the pots, clay pots made of earth. The clay comes from the earth and it's made into a pot, and when it's broken it goes back to the earth. So the same way cosmic manifestation is caused by the Supreme Brahman. The Supreme Brahman, then maintained for some time and then annihilated. The Lord is the cause of Brahman.
Yes.
So everything comes from Him. The Supreme Brahman emanates from Krishna and expands like the sky. Although untouched by anything material, it exists within and without. The mind, intelligence and senses and living force can neither touch Him nor know Him. So very difficult to know the Lord. And then he gives the example. This is all the prayers, right? This is the mantra is supposed to chant.
Yes.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
So iron has no power to burn when made red hot. Iron has no power. Iron has the power to burn when red hot. But it cannot burn the fire. In the same way, the body, senses, living force, mind and intelligence, although lumps of matter can function in their activities when infused with a particle of consciousness by the Supreme Lord. As iron cannot burn unless heated by fire, the bodily senses cannot act unless favored by the Supreme Brahman. So the Supreme Brahman is the energy of the Supreme Lord. So the power for all activities come from the Lord. The brain is nothing but matter, but when the energy of the Lord is there, then the brain can act. Just like iron can burn when it's red hot, when it's made red hot by the fire. And the same way, the brain can act. And then going ahead, we hear how the Lord is situated on the topmost planet of the spiritual world. His lotus feet are massaged by the best devotees. And the Lord is complete in 6 opulences. He's the Supreme Person. Alright? So, we hear about the Lord. He has all the opulences. Then text 26, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking again. So, Narada had given the mantra to Chitraketu and instructed him, and Chitraketu was fully surrendered. So then Narada and Angira, they left. So Chitraketu was not, he had changed, because when his son, before he had a son, he wanted the son. And when he got the son, he was very attached to the son. And then after the son died, he was at first lamenting, but then now he's renounced, because he's had everything. Narada and Angira have been talking to him and telling him about Bhakti Yoga, so he's become detached. So he's become he's more on the platform of renunciation. He's understood the material world is false and material possessions are temporary. And it's important because it's only at that point that you can actually begin to practice Bhakti Yoga. To instruct someone, if you instruct somebody who's very materially attached, it will not have any effect, because they're so attached materially. But if somebody's a little bit renounced and they've seen through they've experienced the temporary nature of the material world and all the difficulties in the material, they're more ready to hear, right? We have different reasons why people come to Krishna consciousness, right? What are the 4 reasons? Yeah. So then what's the main cause? Distress. A lot of people are in distress. And they come to Krishna consciousness. But if we're too attached, we cannot. So Prabhupada quotes 244, Bhagavad Gita, Bhoga and Aishwarya, in the minds of those who are attached to material opulence and sense gratification. If we're attached to these things, then we won't have the determination for devotional service. So we have to be very cautious. And Prabhupada talks about the youth in the West, how the youth in the West have come to the stage of vairagya, renunciation. They've all become hippies. They want to renounce. They leave their homes. They sleep in the Prabhupada went to San Francisco, and so many young people were there, all living in the streets and, homeless, and on the beach, and like that. So Prabhupada said, this is good. They're ready for Krishna consciousness because they're not attracted by the opulence of the material world. They want to turn away from it. So advancement in devotional service means renunciation of material enjoyment. The 2 things go together. You cannot be enjoying material and attached to material enjoyment and at the same time engaged in devotional service. So I'm here, I brought Narada Muni to explain these things. So we are told about Chitraketu, fasting and drinking only water. Chitraketu for 1 week, continuously chanting with great care and attention the mantra given by Narada Muni. Right? So he's very serious, just like Sukadeva Goswami when he taught Maharaj Parikshit, fasting, just hearing, and he was renounced, he'd given up everything, taken off all his ornaments and royal clothes. So after a week of repeatedly practicing the mantra, then he got the he became the ruler of the planet of the Vidyadharas as an intermediate product of his spiritual advancement in knowledge. You could say it's like a little test, give you a little opulence, how serious are you? Devotional service. And sometimes it happens like that, people come to Krishna consciousness and they get a little opulence, they get a little position, and you have to see how they use it, But devotional service can give us all our material desires. But a devotee should not be attached to material power. You can get it easily without trying for it. So becoming the king of the Vidyadharas, this was the side benefit of devotional service. It's like a side benefit. Wasn't the real benefit of devotion. So within very few days, by the influence of the mantra, his mind became enlightened in spiritual progress, and he attained shelter of Anantadev, the lotus feet of Lord Anantadev. So that's the success of his chanting. The devotee is not interested in material opulence. He wants to take shelter of the Lord. So if a devotee is doing devotional service, his material opulence is not material. It's all spiritual, right? Temple president's new car is spiritual. Right? So nothing in devotional service is material, everything is spiritual. Consequently, a devotee is awarded so-called material opulence for spiritual advancement. This opulence is an aid to help the devotee advance towards the spiritual kingdom. So Maharaj Chitraketu remained in material opulence as a Vidyadhara Pati. Vidyadhara Pati, master of the Vidyadharas. So he enjoyed opulence, material opulence. But he wasn't attached to it. He kept chanting his mantra very carefully. And within a few days he returned home back to Godhead. He got the shelter of Lord Ananta's lotus feet. So So Prabhupada, a karmi's opulence and a devotee's material opulence are not on the same level. A devotee can get whatever he likes. Maharaj Chitraketu wanted only to return home, so he achieved success in that way. A devotee never asks Lord Vishnu for any material profit. He serves without material desires, and then he is transferred to the spiritual kingdom. Yeah?
Chitraketu already went back to Godhead. Does this indicate that Chitraketu already went back to Godhead?
Yeah.
So if one goes back to Godhead, they never come back, no? That like one who goes back to Godhead never.
Okay.
So why did he come back now?
Who said he came back now?
As Vritasura.
Huh?
As Vritasura.
Oh. Well, we're going to hear. If the Lord wants him to come back, maybe he had to come back for some service.
Oh, so it was his service?
Yeah. You get some service, there's some service, you have to come back. The Lord sends people here, like Jai Vijay, they had some service,
So this was like a service for...
Huh?
So being with Asura was a service.
Yeah, it was a service in a sense. There was some Leela there. The one part of the Leela also was he maybe had to come back to be in charge of Vidyadhara Loka. Maybe they needed him to be the king there. So he had to come back. Anyway, we hear the description about the Lord. He's in bluish garment. He was as white as the white fibers of a lotus flower. Bluish garments, brilliantly glittering helmet, armlets, belt, bangles. His face smiling, his eyes reddish, surrounded by liberated persons like Sanat Kumar. So what does Chitraketu do? He offers his devotion, he offers his respects, and he's silent and grave. Tears are falling from his eyes, his hair standing on end. With tears of love and affection, Chitraketu repeatedly moistened the resting place of the Lord's lotus feet. Voice was choked in ecstasy, was unable to say anything, to offer suitable prayers. So he had to wait for some, he could not immediately speak, but text 33, thereafter controlling his mind with his intelligence, and thus restricting his senses, he recovered suitable words with which to express his feelings. And he begins to offer prayers. And the Lord is described as being the personification of the Holy Scriptures. And the Holy Scriptures are mentioned here by our publishers to be like the Brahma Samhita and the Narada Pancharatra, who's the spiritual master of all. So he offered his prayers as follows. And it's very interesting and about the Psalms, because that purport here, this verse, what text number is 33, right? They talk about the songs, right? And the following verse from Padma Purana, Sanatana Goswami forbids us to sing any song not sung by authorized devotees. The words or songs of a person not fixed in Vaishnava behavior, not strictly following rules and regulations and chanting Hare Krishna mantra should not be accepted by pure devotees. So that's important.
Sad. So,
Hmm?
what if the person singing in temple is not following the regulated principles? We don't know about them when we're listening. Does that affect us?
The what?
Like, what if the person or the devotee who's singing in temple is not chanting and not following regulated principles, but just a singer, famous singer, and singing in temple? And are we still affected?
Well, we don't let them sing unless they're going to sing devotional songs.
It's okay if they sing Hare Krishna mantra.
Yeah, if they sing Hare Krishna mantra, it's good.
Doesn't matter. But
Huh?
they said that, oh, okay.
It's very good. We want them to come and sing Hare Krishna mantra.
Also on YouTube, I see many general people, they are not like proper devotees, but they just like being spiritual, so they just compose their own song, which is kind of glorifying Krishna, and they keep singing in a very beautiful tone, they record it properly, they advertise it properly,
Yeah, but
and they're
that-
famous also.
Yeah.
And they're very sweet and melodious. But neither they have any understanding about what is Krishna consciousness, nor their words are composed by the acharyas or anything. Whatever by their mental speculation, they composed a song glorifying the Lord and they keep singing. So what happens if we hear like those songs?
Well, it's not very good for us. Not going to purify us. We're a bit more cautious about what they sing, what's sung in our temples.
Yeah.
They want to compose songs, let them go and sing songs some other place.
Yeah, in the Bollywood, many movies they have, because India is a religious place, many movies have a very nice spiritual songs and they're very famous.
Recently,
Not very spiritual. You say spiritual, I wonder how
no,
spiritual.
but they're using the words like
Krishna, Govinda.
Gauranga, Gaurachat.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari.
Well, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful about these things, you know.
And then they also have these serials where they call it mythology, where they create Radha Krishna pastimes, which is not according to our shastras, but the songs, everyone's so attracted to the songs and they're chanting, they're really attracted to it. They think that, oh, we're watching something spiritual.
Anyway,
It's mundane. It's still considered mundane.
yeah.
Okay.
So Chitraketu is speaking now. Maharaj Chitraketu is addressing the Lord. He's beginning to offer his prayers. And he's offering his prayers, first of all, he said, the Lord is unconquerable, he cannot be conquered by anyone. But at the same time, he conquers the devotees. And he said, the Lord cannot be conquered by anyone, but he is conquered by devotees. Because the devotees have control of the mind and senses. So they can, although the Lord is unconquerable, he becomes conquered by the pure love of his devotees. And the Lord gives himself to the devotees. So the Lord is conquered by the devotees, and the devotees are conquered by the Lord. There's a transcendental reciprocation. Because the devotees simply desire to serve the Lord without desire for anything in return, they can conquer the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is by nature very merciful, and when He sees His servant is working without desire for material profit, naturally he is conquered. Right? You know the verse? Tatena kampam
Namaste Jayate Mukti Pade Sadaya Bhakti.
Oh, there's another verse. Right? We're talking about conquered. That he's conquered. Though he's unconquered, he's conquered by the devotees. Gane krayasam mudapasya namanta eva jivanti sammo kalitam pavadiya bhartam stane kita shruti gatam kantam manobir ye prayaso jita jitopi asitais trilokyam. That you can remain in whatever position you're in, engage in devotional service to the Lord, and in this way you conquer the Lord, although the Lord is unconquerable. The Lord becomes conquered by the devotee. So the Lord gives all opportunity for service. When the Lord is conquered by His devotees, He's eager to give them an opportunity to do more service. And then the Chitraketu talks about creation, maintenance and annihilation. He said this is the opulence of the Lord. So the demigods are just small portions of the Lord. Some of the purports are quite long here in these different verses. Going ahead. You exist in the beginning, middle and end of everything. From the most minute particle, the atom, to the gigantic universe. Nonetheless, you are eternal, having no beginning, end or middle. You are perceived to exist in these three phases. Thus you are permanent. You exist as the original potency. And so then there's a long purport. And then 37, we hear about the universe and the 7 layers covering the universe and how they're each 10 times bigger than the next one. And they move about. The universes move about like atoms. So in this way the Lord is called unlimited, Ananta. Then 38. Unintelligent persons who thirst for sense enjoyment and who worship various demigods are no better than animals in the human form of life. So worshipping demigods is being condemned in this verse. They fail to worship the Lord, instead they worship insignificant demigods who are just a small spark of our Supreme Lord. The benedictions they get are also temporary. Like the nobility when a king is no longer in power. So the king may have no power. What's the good of being a king? Just like in India, there were so many kings, and they took away all the property. And they said, "Oh, he's the king." He's living in some little house, you know. The government took everything. They had the same thing in China. But you know, they had that revolution in China. The communists took over. So before the revolution, there was like a king, and he was just some little man, you know. But he's a king, and he had many wives as well, you know. And they took over the country, and he became a gardener. He was working in the garden, in the greenhouse, taking care of the plants. And like before he'd been the king, then he became the gardener. So demigods the same way. Demigods, they get big positions, but they also live and they have to come down. And the benedictions which they give are also temporary. So we should be careful. And then, next verse, person obsessed with material desires for sense gratification through material opulence worship you. If persons have material desires and they worship the Lord for this, then they are not subject. So although they have material desires, because they're worshipping the Lord, they don't take birth again. Because they're worshipping the Lord, who is the source of all knowledge. And they give the example, just like sterilized or fried seeds do not produce plants. So we take birth again and again because we are conditioned. But the Lord is transcendental. And one who is inclined to associate with the Lord in transcendence, he escapes the condition of material nature. So that's the power of worshipping the Lord. And of course they quote 4:9 because that's the relevant verse. That we go to the Lord's abode. You don't have to come back again in the material world. He's immune to birth and death. So at the end of the purport, Prabhupada said, whether for the satisfaction of material desires, because of the influence of envy, because of fear, because of affection, or because of any other reason, if one comes to Krishna, his life is successful. So that's the point. Because he comes to Krishna, even though he has so many things, envy, material desires, fear, but he comes to Krishna. So his life is successful. And then text 40, he goes on and he speaks about Bhagavad Dharma. And Chitraketu glorifies Bhagavad Dharma. He said this is the uncontaminated religious system. Persons who have no material desires, like the Kumaras, who are self-satisfied, worship you to be liberated from material contamination. In other words, they accept the process of Bhagavad Dharma to achieve shelter at your lotus feet. So then, Prabhupada in the purport writes about pure devotional service, and he quotes the two verses, both very well known, Anyam Lasita Sunyam and Sarvapadi Vinir Muktam. These are the two verses describing pure devotional service. And then Prabhupada in the purport, he talks, we have to be free from all material designations. We should be in our pure identity. Then we can actually do devotional service. We should not have material desires. Bhagavad Dharma is the process of religion given by pure devotees, like Narada, Sukadeva Goswami and their servants in the Parampara. Understanding Bhagavad Dharma immediately becomes free from material contamination. And if we understand about the Lord, about Bhagavad Dharma, and we take it up, then victory for the Lord. And then He can reclaim the fallen souls. He can understand the difference between life without Bhagavad Dharma and life with Bhagavad Dharma. And thus He ever remains obliged to the Lord. Taking to Krishna consciousness and bringing fallen souls to Krishna consciousness is victory for Lord Krishna. Hari Bol. So this is of course what we want to do, bring people to Krishna consciousness. We're very much grateful to the Lord for giving us this process, Bhagavad Dharma. We have to feel some gratitude for what we've got, you know. Some people, they just complain, I didn't get, you know. But some devotees are very much appreciate what they got, and they will offer prayers of gratitude to everyone who helped them in their devotional life, you know. So many people in the path of becoming devotees, you know, we have contact with many different people. We should feel indebted to them. So Srimad Bhagavatam this is Bhagavad Dharma, this is the real process of religion. And text 41 describes actually only Bhagavad Dharma doesn't have all these contradictions which are there in other processes. Srimad Bhagavatam does not have that kind of consciousness. In other religions they're thinking about you and I, or yours and mine. But in Krishna consciousness we just think everything is Krishna's. We are Krishna's and Krishna is theirs. So Sukadeva Goswami says there are other low-class religious systems, not Sukadeva, this is Chitraketu, said there are other low-class religious systems which are contemplated for the killing of enemies or the gain of mystic power. But such religious systems are full of passion and envy. They're impure and temporary. And because they're full of envy, they are full of irreligion. So Bhagavad Dharma means following the orders of the Lord. Sarva Dharmam Parigyajna, but we have to surrender. God is one, God is for everyone. Everyone must surrender to God. That is the real concept of religion. We have to do what God wants. We can't just say, well, I do what I believe. Well, I believe, that's useless. You can't do that. Who is interested in what you believe and what I believe? That doesn't have any value. We want to hear what the Lord wants. Everyone must believe what the Supreme Lord wants, and we should carry out His orders. Right? Krishnanushīlanam. We should do that. We should do what Krishna wants. That is real religion. And if we're actually devotees, we don't have any enemies. How can God have enemies? In the history of the world, so many wars took place because of religion. They fought with each other. We know India at the time of partition, the Hindu Muslims, how they fought with each other. There are many instances. Even in the UK, in Ireland, it's the Catholic and the Protestant, and they fight with each other. There's all these things going on there. And similarly in India, Punjab, right? They want to separate Punjab sometimes, you know. Or Kashmir, they want Kashmir for Pakistan or something. It's kind of these issues. So, in the name of religion, so much conflicts are there. But that is material. They're thinking my religion, my belief. Your religion, your belief. They're not thinking what is actually the real religion. The real religion is to surrender to God. But they don't know, they don't have this concept. So all these kinds of cheating, all these kind of contradictions which are there, they're in material religions, but they're not in Krishna consciousness. They're not in the real process of religion, which is Bhagavad Dharma. And if we study all the different religious systems, you'll see how they're worshipping demigods. And you'll find so much envy, so many problems. So then Maharaj Chitra came to ask, how can a religious system produce envy of ourselves and of others? How can it be beneficial for oneself and for them? What is auspicious about following a system like that? What is to be gained? We just give pain and make people angry, and we're just practicing some irreligion. Cannot be real religion. Just like people do animal sacrifices. They think it's auspicious. They get the goat on the dark moon night, kill the goat in the temple.
Yesterday I went to Krishnanagar side in Panchanantala. In Panchanantala, there was blood everywhere, there was dead goat. We thought we would go take the darshan, but then we saw it and we backed up. We thought we were going to go inside to Pranam in Panchanantala because it's a Navati Mandapaikrama, devotees go there. So we thought we would do darshan, but we saw all the blood and we went back.
So sometimes people, of course we can say, well, it's Vedic, it's in the Vedas, but Prabhupada said here, he said this is a concession for miserable people who will not give up eating meat. So that kind of religious system is condemned. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, give up all these kind of religions. So, if you follow a process which does not help us to become God conscious, then it's simply a waste of time. Just simply a waste of time and energy. we get nowhere. So Maharaj Chitraketu continues, he said, one's occupational duty is instructed in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita according to your point of view. And those who follow their duties under your supervision, being equal to all living entities and not considering high and low, they are called Aryans. Such Aryans worship you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here's your definition of Aryan.
Yes.
They don't consider who's high and who's low. They don't consider what's moving and not moving. They see living entities equally. So Prabhupada begins talking about Lord Chaitanya, that Lord Chaitanya wanted everyone to preach. And preaching means Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other things like Vedanta Sutra, Puranas. So Aryans are mentioned. Aryans who are advanced in civilization follow Bhagavad Dharma. And he said Prahlad Maharaj recommended, and he talked about Bhagavad Dharma. Prahlad preached Bhagavad Dharma among his classmates. Children should learn about Bhagavad Dharma from the beginning of life. Very rarely obtained. Bhagavad Dharma means living according to the instructions of the Supreme Lord. Right? We have to know the Lord's instructions and we should follow them. Bhagavad Dharma means Varnashram Dharma. 4 divisions of society. Human society follow the principles and live according to the instructions. They are called Aryans. Right? So Aryan means they strictly follow the Bhagavad Dharma. They live according to the instruction of the Supreme Lord. Then they are perfect. Such men do not discriminate between trees, animals, human beings, other living entities. Pandita Samadarshana.
So we all are trying to become Aryans.
Yeah, well, Aryans do not kill even a small plant unnecessarily. At the present moment, throughout the world, killing is prominent. Killing other human beings also for sense gratification. This is not an Aryan civilization. The word apritagdiya indicates that Aryans do not distinguish between lower and higher grades of life. All life should be protected. All living beings have a right, even the trees, the plants. This is the principle of the Aryan civilization. And then different people have talked about the criterion, how to establish Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya Sutra. Criterion must be guna and karma. That's how you understand who is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya Sutra. You have to see the guna, their qualities and their karma. You have to see what kind of work they do. So the Aryans are very eager to satisfy Krishna. They follow the instructions of Krishna and they don't have any doubts about Krishna. The non-Aryans, they won't follow the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam because they're trained in sense gratification. So Prabhupada said, summarizing, he said, this verse advises everyone to become an Aryan and follow the instructions of Krishna. We're spreading Krishna consciousness movement to try to establish a society the way that Krishna wants it. Right? Not the way this man wants it, that man wants it, not the way this party wants it, or that party, but the way Krishna wants it. It's very important for us. We need to know what Krishna wants. Prabhupada said, therefore we have to kick out all kinds of mental concoction. Fools and rascals, they interpret the Bhagavad Gita in their own way. So these people are not Aryan. Going ahead, 44, he continues offering his prayers. Talks about hearing the holy name of the Lord, how we can become immediately purified. And then he talks about how the holy name can deliver people from the lowest level of society. Even Malechas and Chandalas, they belong to the lowest class, they're being delivered from all sinful activities by hearing the holy name of the Lord. Once heard without offenses, it can purify the lowest of people. Text 45. Text 45. Maharaj Chitraketu said, just by seeing the Lord and being near Him, he said, we can develop the goal of life. All our sinful activities can be removed. All our bad karma, material attachment, lusty desires, they can all be removed just by seeing the Lord, just by being with Him. So Maharaj Chitraketu says to Lord Anantashesha that I've had your darshan, I'm with you now. It's a result of being trained by Narada Muni. Because of association with Narada Muni, now I can be with the Lord. So we have to learn from the Acharya. I have to get that kind of association with great devotees. Then 46. Chitraketu said, you know everything. There's nothing for me to make known because you know everything. You're everywhere, you know everything. So I don't have to tell you anything. You know everything. And then 47. You cannot understand your real position. They cannot understand your real position. People who are too materialistic and who always see separateness do not have eyes with which to see the Lord. So it's important to purify ourselves, get purification, then we can see God. And Prabhupada talks about the scientists, how they're trying to do things. So they cannot understand God's creation because they're atheists. They won't chant the holy name of the Lord. They're sinful, they're very attached to sense gratification. So scientific knowledge is useless because they don't understand Krishna. And then 48. After your endeavor, Lord Brahma Indra became occupied with their activities. After you perceived the material energy, the senses begin to perceive. And then the Lord holds all the universes on his head. I offer my obeisances unto you. The Supreme Personality who has thousands of hoods. And then text 49. Text 49, Sukhdeva Goswami. Lord Anantadev is very pleased with Chitraketu's prayers, very nice. And so Lord Anantadev will reply and says, it's very good, you've spoken very nicely about me. You followed the instructions of Narada and Angira. You've become aware of transcendental knowledge. Now you are completely perfect. And then the Lord speaks more about himself and the living entities. He said, the living entities are my expansions, they are separate from me. I am the super soul. I am the form of transcendental vibrations like Omkara and Hare Krishna. I am the supreme absolute truth. These two forms of mine, namely the transcendental sound and the eternally blissful spiritual form of the deity, are my eternal forms. They are not material. So the Lord Anantashesha is saying like that, the chanting of the holy name and the form of the deity. Form of the deity. You get people to see the deity, it's very nice. So he's talking about devotional service. You can see the Lord all the time. So in the beginning, Chitraketu got instruction from his guru, first of all Angira, and then secondly then Narada, and now he's getting instruction from the Supreme Lord. Lord Anantashesha is telling him the essence of all knowledge, the real tattva. So you hear a lot about what is karma and vikarma. The interest is we have to learn from the Supreme Lord, who, as Anantadev, is instructing King Chitraketu because of the advanced stage of devotional service he achieved by following the instructions of Narada and Angira. So the Lord induces the living entities to do everything. As a super soul, he's guiding them to do everything. So Prabhupada said, when one is actually on the platform of vidya or transcendental knowledge, then one can personally understand the Supreme Lord in his forms, like those of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, and Sankarsana. And the Vedic knowledge is the beginning. It's the breathing of the Lord. In text 52, the conditioned soul thinks he is the enjoyer of the material world. Lord Anantadev said, I am the cause of these effects, and one should know that both of them rest on me. Both of them meaning?
Cause and effect. Cause and effect. cause and effect?
And world.
Yes, both of them.
The living entity and the material world. And Prabhupada talks about what is Mayavada philosophy. They're seeing everything equal to God. They're seeing everything as God. They see everything as worshipable. It's very dangerous. And it's turned people towards atheism. So, what's the danger about atheism? What's the problem with atheism?
People go to hellish planets, Maharaj.
Yeah, they'll go to hell. But, you know, maybe that's what they want, you know. They want to go to hell. But atheism, when people are atheists, then they'll do whatever they like. They don't follow any rules or regulations. There's no laws. They can do what the one man wrote a book, Confessions of an Atheist. He said, if I have to believe in God, I have to follow so many principles and rules, morality, things like that. I have to be. But he said, if I'm an atheist, I do what I like. Nobody bothers. So this is the danger. And the same way, living entities, we think the material world is just for our enjoyment. It's all for us to enjoy. The material energy and the spiritual energy is all Krishna's energy. Prabhupada writes, everything rests upon Krishna and everything is but an expansion of Krishna's energies. But this does not mean that everything is as worshipable as Krishna himself. Right? The Mayavadis, it's all one. Everything is one. So everything is worshipable. So the theory, at the end of text 52, the purport, the theory that the Lord's energies, being expansions of the Lord, are as good as the Lord, is mistaken. Right? If you say everything is the Lord's energy, so it's equal to the Lord, then you can worship everything.
But he said we can worship the paraphernalia of the Lord. We were discussing something like this a few...
Well, the Lord's paraphernalia, that's something else. That's an internal energy of the Lord. But we don't worship, for example, Madanga drum. We worship the deities. We don't just worship all the Lord's paraphernalia. Some paraphernalia, we use it in the worship of the Lord. That's different. You're not worshipping it. And then Lord Anantashesha talks about a person in deep sleep. Persons in deep sleep, he dreams and he sees many things, although they're far away. And then when he wakes up from a dream, he sees he's in a human form and he's laying on a bed in one place. So he sees himself in different conditions, belonging to different countries and families, all conditions of deep sleep, dreaming and wakefulness, and they're all energies of the Supreme Lord. So we should remember the original Creator who is unaffected by them. The Supreme Lord is the ultimate actor, and the conditioned living entity should simply remember the original actor, Sri Krishna. Our duty is to remember the Supreme Director of this illusory energy, Krishna. And then some more verses talking about Mayavada. In Purport 58, Prabhupada writes about the best way to perform humanitarian work. The best way to perform humanitarian, you want to do humanitarian work, he said, help people to become self-realized. Just become self-realized, that's the best way to do humanitarian work. Help people to become self-realized. So Lord Ananta Dev preaches to Chitraketu, and he tells him he should be free. He should never cultivate material desires. And gives an example, interesting example. Text number 60. Husband and wife, man and woman, plan together to attain happiness and decrease unhappiness, working jointly in many ways. But because their activities are full of desires, these activities are never a source of happiness, and they never diminish distress. On the contrary, they are a cause of great unhappiness. And then he talked about people being proud about their material experience. All these conditions, you should give up the desire for fruitive results. You should become devotee. So the conclusion, text 64, he said, be unattached to material enjoyment, adhering to me with great faith, becoming proficient and fully aware of knowledge and its practical application, then you will achieve the highest perfection by attaining me. So in this way, Lord Ananta Shesha instructed Chitraketu, and then he disappeared.
But his Lord is aboard. Maharaj, Anandadev disappeared as Mataji was asking that Chitraketu attained aboard and how he came back. Initially she asked that question.
Yeah?
But he stated that Anandadev disappeared. So he might have appeared in front of Maharaj Chitraketu.
Yeah.
Instead of the abode.
Yeah. The Lord came there to maybe it was the planet of the Vidyadharas or whatever. The Lord can come everywhere, right? He is everywhere, He's omnipresent. So He can come everywhere.
Why did we see that he went back to Godhead? How did we see that he went back to Godhead?
How did He go back to God?
No, it's not mentioned he went back to Godhead.
It's not mentioned? I'm thinking, how did I think that he went back to Godhead? Where did I...
He achieved the... No, she was thinking he went back to Godhead.
Who?
Maharaj Chitraketu.
Oh, Maharaj Chitraketu. Not right away, right?
Yeah. He got darshan of...
He got darshan of Lord Sankarshan.
Yeah.
So Lord Sankarshan instructed him how he should behave, what should be proper standard, so that he can attain it. He gave us instructions.
Yeah.
No?
I thought.
So the main instruction was, don't be attached to material things. Just and have faith in the Lord and have knowledge and practice it. And in this way He will attain the Lord. Okay, so it's nothing very difficult. It's some long purports there. Like long purports. Prabhupada wrote a lot. Alright, so tomorrow we'll go on chapter number 17, right?
Chapter 18 is complete. Chapter 18. 17.
Tomorrow main chapter. Kasim.
What is the main chapter? Today is not the main. Tomorrow is the main chapter of Kursi. Today the prayer is in Supreme Court. Darshan is not the main.
Yeah, tomorrow is Ekadasi.
Yes.
Yes.
Ask him.
Yeah, I'll take lunch.
You will take lunch
After
class lunch.
But not lunch, I just take food. Just what I do.
Maybe something.
Yeah, have some fruit, try fruit.
Maybe something. Maybe some with soup.
No, it's
Okay. Or maybe I can make this best with the meal and Bhakti and fruits.
no.
So you cook enough?
Yeah.
No much.
Is not.
Okay. It's over.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.